Do you think that annual planning is just about the money? That's what I think the problem is with annual planning. It's mostly one size fits all and extremely analytical. The thing is, there's more to planning what's coming in the new year than the numbers. The numbers can be a key driver, but there's a lot more to it, especially if you're an introvert. Yes, sales and spending and profit margins matter. But if you're an introvert, that's not what lights your fire. Most of the introverts that I work with are not driven by money. They're driven by impact. How have I helped someone? How have I made a difference? How have I moved my own life forward? Those are the questions that tend to matter to introverts. So with that in mind, this is not your typical annual planning. I've pulled together a list of questions to help you look at what you're going to do in the year to come beyond the money. Yes, you should still do financial-based planning. Absolutely. Your income matters. You still need to pay your rent or your mortgage. You need to be able to put food on the table. But there's more than that. You need to live your life in the way that you envision. And you need to bring that into your annual planning. The planning that we're about to do here is more about feeding your soul. As you look at the year ahead, what impact do you want to make? And how do you need to take your introversion into account as you put those plans into action? These are the questions we'll be addressing today. Before we get started, 3 things to note. This is a process in 2 parts, looking back and then looking ahead. This video is about looking back. It's important that you look back before you look ahead because you need to get clear on what it is you're building on. It's also going to help put you in the right mindset for looking ahead. At the same time, don't let looking back trap you. Our past behavior does not necessarily dictate our future behavior. It just tells us where we're building on. While you're looking back, think also about where you're stuck and maybe where you want to get unstuck. And second, I'm a marketing consultant and coach for introverts. So my questions and examples will all be around marketing, and you're going to hear a lot about introversion today. If you want to take these questions and shift them to something else in your world that's not marketing or not introversion, go for it. These questions are really powerful, and I think they can be applied in a lot of different ways. But my focus is going to be marketing and introverted entrepreneurs. And lastly, find some place where you can capture your thoughts. Make it a Google Doc or a notebook and a pen, whatever works for you. Set yourself up to capture your ideas and your thoughts. If you have a sudden aha or you need some time to really get into a question, pause this video and do that. These are important and powerful questions that are going to help you set yourself up for success in the new year. So take the time to sit in them and think about what you actually want for your world. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Here are 5 questions to ask yourself about the last year. Question number 1, what went well? Perhaps it's a marketing campaign that went well, or a new service that you offered. Maybe you really like how you connect with your clients, or you really like the clients or customers that you have collected. Maybe you get along with them really well and they were the type of people you were hoping to connect with. Is there a way that you showed up in your marketing that really worked for you? Or maybe it's something else. Take a moment to notice what went well. Write it down and celebrate it. It's a big deal when you find the marketing that works for you and when you can leverage it and get it to be successful. As we look forward into the next year, these are the successes that we want to build on. And this is also about setting the right mindset for this journey of annual planning. It's easy to get distracted by the things that didn't go well. Make sure you focus on what did go well as you go into your planning for the next year. Okay, ready? Question number 2. What did you do right? This is a very different question from what went well. This is about your specific actions. What did you do that generated positive results? I want you to notice the answers to this question because you do have agency in your success. This isn't about luck. This isn't about stumbling over something. Success doesn't just happen to you. You make it happen. So what did you do right in the last year that helped make that happen? Maybe you made a brave decision. Maybe you dared to think out of the box. Maybe you hammered at something until it finally worked. You dared to speak up for yourself. Or you created a new habit and started showing up consistently. I want you to notice your agency in your own success. It's empowering and it's powerful and it's important to remember as you set your goals in the new year. Question number 3. What did you learn? When things don't go well for us, it's really easy to write them off as failures. But there's a more empowering approach and a way of thinking about them that will serve you. Choosing to learn from those experiences and not think of them as failures, but think of them as opportunities to learn. So what did you learn this past year? Maybe there was a marketing tactic that didn't go well. Maybe you put a new service out there and nobody purchased it. It's happened to me and I learned a lot from it. Maybe a client taught you something valuable. or you grabbed some really interesting insight from something that didn't go as planned. And because I know this is a difficult question, I'm going to share one of my own. I launched a program last year called Get It Done. Now, I've been running Get It Done for years, and it's a great program. It works really, really well, and it's usually successful. But this past year, I opened the doors, and very few people signed up, and it was incredibly frustrating. And it was easy to think, oh my God, this program is a failure. I was wrong. It's not going to work. But that's not the truth. There were things to learn. Why did it not work when I know it's worked in the past? And so I made sure to pause and look at it and be like, what did I learn from this so I don't make this mistake again? And that's what I'm inviting you to do here is take a look at the things that didn't go as well and be like, what did I do or what happened around that I need to notice as I go forward? What I want you to take away from this question is that every lesson is a step towards the success that you're looking for. So what did you learn this past year that you can use as you plan for next year? All right. Next up, question number 4. How did your introversion benefit you? As an introvert, your unique strengths play a vital role in the success of your business and in how you set your marketing up to succeed. So as you look back at the last year, ask this question. How did your introverted qualities benefit your business and your marketing? Maybe your really powerful listening skills helped you connect with a client. Or maybe your self-awareness helped you remember to rejuvenate so that you could show up as your best self when you needed to put yourself out there. In what ways did you manage your energy effectively? When were you able to pause, get your thoughts together, and say something important that the people in the room needed to hear? Notice these things, these powers that you have as an introvert, and write them down because you can leverage these successes in the new year and do it again. Our last question for looking back. Are you ready? Question number 5. Where in your marketing did you find joy? I firmly believe that if you're not finding joy in the work that you're doing and in your marketing, you're doing it wrong. Why are you doing it at all if you're not enjoying it? And every business has things that we don't like and that we don't enjoy. Absolutely. But there need to be powerful places where you can spend time in your business and in your marketing where you do find joy, that help you drive forward, that help you show up, that help you be present in your business and enjoy this business that you've built for yourself. Wherever you are in your journey, there should be joy someplace to help propel you forward. Not everything needs to be joyful, but there should be moments that light you up and help you feel powerful and happy. If there is no joy in what you're doing, it's going to be really hard to be consistent. It's going to be difficult to sustain your energy and your enthusiasm. It's going to be difficult to even get out of bed if you're not enjoying some aspect of the work you're doing. And you do need to find joy in the long haul because marketing your business and running your business is a long haul venture. It's not just about today. It's about being able to stay consistent and keep showing up for years to come. So where's the joy in what you do? As you look back in the last year, notice the moments that you found joy in your work, in your marketing, in your business. Maybe it was in the creative process or the interaction with a client you enjoyed. Maybe you have colleagues that you really enjoy staying connected to. I know that this question is one of the ones that can be a little bit more difficult to answer, so let me give you an example from my own experiences. This past year, I found joy in bringing new people into my group coaching program, and that's a big deal because I'd been putting it off for a really long time. The group coaching program has existed for a few years, and I was really nervous that bringing new people in would disrupt it in a negative way, and I'm by default going to think about the negative things, so I really let that block me for a long time. And this year, I finally brought some new people into the group coaching program, and it's gone so well. Bringing new people in has really just elevated the energy of the group, and everybody is showing up more powerfully, including me, which is really exciting. And so I'm finding a lot of joy around the group coaching program, and I'm really excited at the decisions that I made. When you recognize the joy that you're finding in your marketing or your business, you're also seeing what you should be doing more of. And really, here's the point. Finding joy in your marketing and your business isn't a luxury. It isn't a nice to have. It's a requirement. It's a necessity if you're going to run your business and do your marketing in the long haul. Because you've chosen to do this and you're going to be spending a lot of hours there, it's important that you enjoy it. It's also going to impact how you show up. When you show up with joy, others feel it. So it impacts your presence, and that matters in your marketing. So out of these 5 questions that I've just asked you, what's one takeaway or aha or thing you've noticed that really pops out at you? I'd love to hear about that. Share it in the comments. Whether it is something that went right or someplace you found joy or something that you had to learn from, it's an important takeaway that's going to help you figure out what your new year looks like. So this concludes the looking back portion of our annual planning process, or as I like to think of it, part 1. Please join me for the next video, part 2, where you get to actually do the planning now that you have your mindset in place.